This is the world's largest conspiracy theory iceberg, and in this TikTok, we're gonna go through each and every single one of them. Now, I have to say, these are just theories and in no way reflect my personal opinion or beliefs. I encourage you all to do your own research. Continuing where we left off on number 2, we got vampire. And no, I'm not talking about this guy. I'm talking about these. I'm talking about these. Now, the legend of vampires have been around for a long, long time. And for most part, it was considered to just be that, folklore. But more and more recently, people have become enticed by the idea of them. Now, what vampires are these immortal, undead beings who supposedly live off the life force of human. And by life force, I mean the juices running through your body. And it sounds crazy, but lately, a lot of these pictures have been popping up on the internet saying that all these celebrity lookalikes are proof that vampires exist. Now, it might just be a coincidence, but we're not here to talk about coincidences. Continuing on with number 3, Big Pharma. Now, not only is Big Pharma the leading manufacturer in the United States for all pharmaceuticals, but they're also the sworn enemy of this man right here. Now, the theory goes that basically since Big Pharma is the biggest manufacturer in the world, they get paid for all your illnesses. So that means every time you have a cold, every time you have a headache and go to the doctor, Big Pharma is getting paid. Now, where this gets crazy is when people start saying things like they have the cure for many, many diseases going around the world. A lot of them being terminal. And the reason why they don't give out these cures is because keeping you on the treatment gets them more money. Why would they give you the cure for something when they can make a lot much more money keeping you sicker and taking your medicine? Now, that's a messed up theory, and I can't help but say I kind of do believe it, but that shouldn't discourage you guys from doing your own research and finding out your own truths. Follow me for the next one. Moving on to the next one, we got number 4, Slender Man. Well, Slender Man started out as a game where basically you go around and collect these 7 pages while being in pursuit of this faceless man wearing a suit. This is what he looks like for reference. Now, somewhere the line between reality and fiction started to get blended, and people started to believe that he was real and that he had the potential to lure you into the woods and drive you into madness. In the stories that I followed in the video games, he mostly goes after people under the age of 18. A little bit weird if you ask me, but nonetheless, this does not stop people from claiming they have seen him in real life. Now, I'm not here to tell you guys the obvious, but Slenderman is not real. Or maybe he is, who knows? This is the conspiracy theory iceberg after all. Join me on the next episode. Moving on to number 5, we got GMO. Now, this conspiracy theory has been around for a while, and it basically states that genetically modified organisms in our food are causing us harm, even altering our genetic structure to make us more complacent. And the reason why you don't hear anything about this is because the food industry has so much money and aligns with the government, they're able to cover everything up. Again, guys, it's just a theory. I don't want to get popped for this. But it really does lead to ask you, what are they putting in our foods? Some people even theorize that the food shortages that we have are attributed to this. It's just their way of trying to get us to eat their GMOs. Damn, guys, there's going to be a lot about the government on this thing, so I hope you're ready for the next episode. Moving on to number 6, we got climate denial. Now, I think we all can agree that the Earth has been getting a lot hotter lately. And production on cars, technologies, and manufacturing have not helped at all. Many scientists have even suggested allowing more public transportation in the United States to help with this. And many of them have already said that we've done irreparable damage to the ozone layer. Yet despite all this, the owners of the factories, the oil rinks, and where you get your gasoline, they don't want to stop. They want to keep making money, and they don't care at whose expense. So the theory goes that this climate denial is actually being fueled and perpetuated by the greed of the industries that want to make money. And with all these natural disasters that are being caused by the heat, who knows what will be in 20 years. Well, we got a long way to go. I can't get caught up on this. Making our way to number 7, we have The Secret. Now, The Secret is a book written by Rhonda Byrne, and it basically talks about this amazing secret that anybody in the world has access to. We're just not told. What is this secret, you ask? It's called the law of attraction. And what it basically states is that we as humans have these feelings and thoughts that are completely different from the rest of the world, and they actually impact the physical world around us. It gets a bit metaphysical here, but stay with me. Basically, this states that all your bad thoughts, your negative energy, when it's put out into the universe, kind of creates a snowball effect and attracts the negative back to you. That's why you see people who say they're poor stay poor. But the opposite also works, where if you put positive energy out in the world and you believe in this thing, you will attract positive things to yourself. A good example of this is that saying, fake it till you make it. That's basically just the law of attraction. Now, what's crazy about this is a lot of people believe in this almost religiously, and you can't help but feel there's some truth to it. I mean, why else do you see positive people always having a positive life? And people who get stuck in toxicity always see themselves repeating that toxicity. Sorry guys, I know I went a little bit over on this one, but I just really love the law of attraction. Let's get back to this iceberg. Coming in at number 8, we got fake news. Now I probably don't have to tell you this, but this was coined by the 45th President of the United States, Donald J. Trump. And at first it was almost laughed at. I mean, the man was getting bad coverage everywhere. And his only response to it was, it's fake. Of course, nobody took it serious at first. But then, people started looking into it. When they started to realize that the news wasn't what we thought it was. No. The news was scripted. And not only was it scripted, it was being broadcast all over the United States. Almost as if we were being programmed. Now, if you haven't heard about this, I highly suggest you look into it. Here's a video link for a video I was watching that basically covers what I'm talking about, but I'm sure there's more out there. And it got people asking, if the news is being scripted, who's writing it? What role do we play in all this? And most importantly, who can we trust? Questions for another day. For now, let's get back to this. Moving on to number 9, we got lucid dreaming. I couldn't really find a conspiracy in this, but I do know what lucid dreaming is. Lucid dreaming is basically when you realize you're dreaming in your dream. And in some cases, you could even control your dream. A lot of people experience things like flying, jumping off a cliff, and floating all the way down to the bottom, being able to defy the natural laws of physics, all in their dream. What's really cool about this is there's a lot of techniques that you can use to actually achieve this on your own. And what studies have shown are actually pretty cool. You see, when you dream, you're using your subconscious mind. And when you're awake, we're usually using our conscious mind. Now, typically, the bridge between those two is not connected. Think of it like this. You know how people say you only use 10% of your brain? That's because 10% of what you control is conscious. 90% of it is subconscious. Some people believe it's being able to bridge that gap between the subconscious and conscious in a lucid dream can actually lead to some psychological breakthroughs. Anyways, if this interests you, I highly recommend you look into it. But for now, we gotta get... Guys, I hope you understand if I skip some here just for community guideline reasons. But moving on to number 10, we got Bigfoot. Now, I'm sure you guys have heard the legend before of Bigfoot, but let me explain. Around the late 1950s, there was an article published basically saying that there was a sighting of this creature very similar to a primate and human in nature. What ensued next was a medley of people claiming that they had seen this creature in the woods, and eventually it was called Bigfoot. And that's all good and well, but where does this turn into a conspiracy? Well, it started here because a lot of people had trouble understanding the evolutionary link and how people went from monkey to human. But having a creature like this in the middle of that evolutionary line would make a little bit more sense. And that's when people started to refer to Bigfoot as the missing link. Trust me guys, I wish I could get deeper into these things, but we only have a limited time and I have so much more to go. So catch me on the next episode. And finishing off this list, we have a very controversial one. I hope I don't get in trouble for this, but it's the Jews. Now, before we continue, I have to say on this TikTok, we do not support racism or anti-Semitism of any sort. It's just a theory and I'm just gonna explain it. But the Jews is basically just a really meme-like way to basically call out Jewish people. And what's being theorized, as obscure and ridiculous as it is that there's an elite group of Jewish people that basically control everything. Now remember guys, this is no way founded in reality. But basically the Jews is just used as a blanket for whenever something goes wrong, it's just, you could blame them. And I think that that's absolutely wrong. If anything, I think that the Jewish has a great, strong community, and the reason why they're able to accomplish so much is because of that. But anyways, let's not get into politics. Let's get back to this.